My name is Yaniv Haroety. I'm a senior publishing manager at Supersonic. I've been working with mobile games in the last 6 years, 3 years as a publishing manager. We've all seen the shift in the market. The rise of the hybrid casual is something, any panel, any talk you hear, this conference, any other conference, everybody's talking about hybrid casual. The top charts are changing. A good marketability is not always a guarantee for a hit like it used to be 2 or 3 years ago in the hyper-casual boom. So we've gathered here today 3 studio leaders to talk about how this shift in the industry has affected their studios, their day-to-day work, and what they can recommend to any other developer or studio out there. So I'll let them introduce themselves. Maybe you can start.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Yanni, for introduction. I'm the CEO of Garaval Games, we are a studio working on, I would say, mobile games, because it's got many branches now, hybrid casual, hyper casual, and casual. Mostly we've done hyper casual prototypes until now, but as you mentioned, we are shifting to a new set of genre, and we are a team of 13 people and based in Istanbul, working with Supersonic, and we have 2 published games, Bridge Race and Color Match. Yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Yusuf from Mood Games. We are a team of 16. We are doing hyper-casual games last 4 years, and especially last 1 year we focused on the hybrid games. And this year we launched 2 games, Traffic Jam Fever and Coin Sort, and in total we launched 4 games until now. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Özhan from Mas Studio. I work as head of gaming. We are also mostly a mobile-focused studio, and we were doing hyper-casual games, but recently we are also shifting, like other studios, to hybrid casuals to make more deeper games because of the market conditions. And thank you very much for coming.
Sure. So we're going to start with the general question. So what changes did you make in your team structure, in your day-to-day activity, in order to adjust to this shift in the market, the shift in the games you guys are developing? Maybe?
Sure. As you also mentioned in the beginning, we were actually trying to create hyper-casual prototypes 3 or 4 years ago based on only marketability maybe, not caring much about the in-game metrics. So the market shift to more depthful games, I would say, not caused, but helped us divide our team into sections where more people are now working on more quality products, and not only spending just a week or a few days in order to create a prototype, but caring about in-game metrics and sometimes spending a month in a promising prototype. So we have the hyper-casual side still going on. I will not say that hyper-casual is totally dead. I mean, most of the people would agree that still the core idea is important and unique ideas have a chance in hyper-casual, but for some hyper-casual prototypes, we evolve them into hybrid casual games and spend more time on content, game economy, game design, and design 3D assets, or even UI sometimes, meta of the games. So we have this hyper-casual side, and also we are working on new casual project at the moment, and for some of our games, we are moving into hybrid casual, as I mentioned. So the team is divided into segments when it comes to new products, but we also got the live operations for our current games, which are still on top charts. So I can say we are in 4 categories in our studio at the moment. That's how we shifted.
Thank you. Yusuf?
You know, in the hybrid games, usually they take much more time than the hyper-casual games. And a lot of things changed for us. It starts from the ideation and the game design. Now we are giving much more importance to this part, and also we are eliminating a lot of ideas if they are not available for the hybrid games. And after that, the quality of the prototypes and the later stage, much different now. We gave much more attention to the details. And I think one of the most important thing changed for us, the data. Now we are much more data-oriented company. In hyper-casual also, we were saying like data is everything, but now it's really different. You know, even in the prototype, we are putting a lot of details to understand the user behavior and the balancing stuff. So that changed in everyone in the team. So now everyone thinking what kind of data we should see. Yeah, and also like I mentioned, the game quality and also as a structure quality, you know, the code-based quality. Now we are not just making and passing like the early times of the hyper-casual. Now we are caring about what if this works. So we will not have enough time to improve the code structure. So we are starting to every game as a hit game. If it's not, then we are going other games, but the approach is changed a lot.
Thank you.
We changed our mindset first. Like I saw this shift coming like almost 2 years ago, and we were making our hyper-casual games like not like prototypes in the first place, but a little bit more like vertical slice. So we were kind of ready for that shift, but we should like be on the same page with the team. So we gathered together and we agreed on that we need to make like deeper games, like hybrid games. We need to use some casual features in our games, so we need to keep up with our optimized speed. Like we cannot be slowed down, but with the optimum speed we try to get maximum quality. So we reshape the team a bit around that vision, and like I think we are ready now for this new trend and make good hybrid casual games.
Good, thank you. Can we skip the slides? I don't have the remote control. And anyway, so next thing we're going to talk about is ideation. Ideation has always been a huge part of any mobile game development, but especially for the hyper-casual games. We used to search for ideas in anything that was viral. We used to look at TikTok, searching for a viral video to gamify. Nowadays, marketability is still a very important matter, but it's not the only thing that we are looking for. We are seeing even casual game taking ideation from hyper-casual for their marketability videos, but we're also seeing hyper-casual developers that are taking ideation from working mechanics of casual games, whether if it's merge, match 3, any very sticky mechanic, and trying to make it hybrid casual or hyper-casual to make the game a little bit lighter. So where do you take inspiration nowadays? What changes in the way you search for a game idea? Yusuf, you can start.
Sure. No, ideation did not change completely for us, but what changed is the filter we are applying is much more strong right now. Because from our side, like we use the social media, AI, and the publishers' knowledge also helps a lot about the direction and the mechanics. But also we are picking some genres. That's also important for us because like you can make the hybrid games from every genre, of course, but I believe some of the genres has more potential for the longer playtime and better retention, long-term retention. So we are trying to pick these kind of genres like idle arcade, the puzzle, the clicker games, merge games, these kind of ones takes more attention from our side. And we are trying to differentiate these ones like we do in the hyper-casual. We are trying to bring new approach to these kind of games. And one of the important things we made is we are taking old, strong games and we are trying to reinvent them with the current knowledge, today's knowledge. Like we were thinking a lot about water sword puzzle, which was very good success. And we tried to make it new one with the same kind of mechanic. And finally, we made the coin sword game, lately launched. So we will also continue to do these kind of reinvention of the old strong mechanics.
Ozan?
I make ideation like in two different ways. One of them is like following the trends or like forecasting potential trends, like according to the trend reports or like on the stores. That's like the regular way, usual way, but I also try to make ideations like total out of the box, like getting some kind of feature from a popular PC game, or like completely coming with some ideas from scratch that has never been tried, or people didn't want to do it for the mobile kind of thing. So it's like 60-70% of the usual ideation, and like 25-30% of like the things that is out of the box and could become a trend or become very popular.
Thank you. Maybe.
I think the hybrid casual games, as we call them, are just a merge of casual and hyper casual games, and both of them have some content in the hybrid casual games. So for hyper casual games, even like people coming up at you and asking, why don't you make such a game, are still an idea making inspiration for us. So we still take that from hyper casual concept, I mean hyper casual mindset. The ideation is still the same, in my opinion, when it comes to creating a new game. So in that way, we still look at the trends, because in a way, game development is just not a software branch, but it's also art. If you think about it, like music and movie sectors, you still need to follow the trends and try creating something new out of the blue, out of nowhere. So in a way, the mindset for hyper casual is really important when it comes to ideation. We try keeping that, also focus on old hyper casual games ideas, which may not have been successful in marketability CPI, but were strong in the in-game metrics. But also from casual games, we get ideas because, as we say, since hybridizing games is more important for marketability now, we try taking inspiration from their meta, in a way, and try implementing them in hyper-casual games. So yeah, ideas can come from Reddit, TikTok, or Instagram Reels, or even your niece sometimes. But trying to develop it into a more depthful game, you'll need some inspiration from casual games, which are successful in meta side. Yeah.
Thank you. We couldn't finish a panel without talking about AI. So AI has stormed into our life, and everything is related in AI and how it can benefit and how it can make our life easier or give us ideas. So I want to ask, are you guys using AI in your studio? What we can use it for any purpose? Do you guys utilize it either as a developer or for ideation or any other purpose? Ozan?
Yes, actually we have our own AI tool for art, like generative AI, and we use it for making concept art about our game. Unfortunately, we cannot use it for the assets because you know, the legal base is not certain right now, and we don't know the actual artists the tool get inspired from. So we are very strict about it, not going beyond the boundaries. So we only use it for concept art, but it's really gives good imagination for us to design the levels or even making the game design according to that. So I think it's going to be for the art part, and for development, mostly we try ChatGPT to find different methods for implementing new features, and also if we could make a live tool combining it with Unity, and maybe the tool will itself generate some levels or some editor for the game.
Thank you. Maybe?
Of course we do use it, but it is kind of helpful in tasks that are always generated and automated. I mean, we try using AI in a way that helps game design rather than creating a new idea to help us. It's kind of like a assistant to both the developers and designers in our team, and also game designers. Art side of our studio uses it more than the other sides, but I can say that even in game design, we ask for help from AI in terms of game economy, game design, and at the moment it's not at its full strength, so nobody should imagine that an AI tool will write the game for you in total, but in future it might be. For now, we are just using it as an assistant in both art and development side. Most of our developers use to write generic code using AI, and it helps us decrease the development time. And for developing casual or hybrid casual prototypes, it makes it faster to use the AI as an assistant.
Cool. Yusuf?
Yeah, we are also using as well. I think we should use more because anytime when we give some time to understand AI, usually we are surprising again and again. So even right now we are using it for the names of the game, you know, like we have this kind of game, but we should name it. But also we are using for like giving an idea and multiplying that, so it's helping for inspiration as well. And sometimes how it would look like when we make something such a game, then we are trying in the Mid-Journey or similar AI, so that's also helping for concepting the ideas. And of course, developers are using for like, validating some stuff or their codes. Yeah, but I believe we should use more, and we will use more, and new tools also coming, like Unity and other tools. I think it will change a lot how we are doing the business.
Sure, that's true. Unity is working on an amazing tool, and maybe soon you'll be able to tell him to write, to create a runner for you, and it will do. So working with a publisher, we know that working with a publisher, especially when we work, when we were developing a hyper casual, but especially now with hybrid casual that is, you know, deeper, and there is a lot of things you want to pay attention to. So working with a good publisher that can give you tools or insights is something that can be the difference between, you know, a good game or a mega hit. So what are the most valuable tools or insights you want to get from your publisher? Maybe.
I think for a studio, the most important part is if a game is going to be successful or not. The question is in the prototyping and the development phase, what we want to learn and make sure of is the marketability metrics of the game. And that depends, as Yusuf also mentioned, data is really important, data is king, and we need to focus on that. So current industry shows that data-oriented publishers will be more helpful for studios. And before, as we were talking just about CPI for marketability and success and profitability of a game, now we have much more metrics to care about, and eCPMs, IPMs, even like not day 7 retentions, but day 30 retentions. And in total, the prediction for a long-term profitability of a game is important. And currently, from a publisher, a studio's expectation should be if a game will be successful in the long term or not, and try to decide it as quickly as possible. So, as an example, in Supersonic dashboard, the marketability score is really good example for that, and it combines all the data into one to show a studio whether a game will be really marketable or not, taking all the aspects into consideration regarding the data. So experience helped achieve that for Supersonic. So it's directly correlated with the publisher's experience. So data and experience, I would say, are the most important 2 factors for the studio to look for in a publisher.
Sure. Yusuf?
You know, so far we launched 4 different games with the 3 different publishers. So, as I can see, the good publishers change the things a lot, so it makes big impact. Of course, it touched every point, you know, even in the ideation, getting the good market insight, getting the mechanic insight, that's critical, and also the game design process, and especially after the first test, if it's good, then real things comes up, you know, what kind of support you can get, what kind of technology publisher has. I think technology pretty much important. You know, when you think about making hit games, you don't think much about these processes after the first test. You are thinking that everything will be smooth, but it's not like that. Sometimes it's becoming much more challenging, or sometimes it's becoming very smooth. If it's smooth enough, then you can focus more on your product and the inside of the product. That's very critical. And also the game design support after the first test, that's also pretty critical. Of course, we have good game design team, and we can do a lot of things by ourselves, but the publishers, our publisher also helping about this part, and that's also brings a lot of experience to the table from the previous games they made and the experience they have. In that part, I can say the technology is very critical, the market insight and knowledge, and after first test, again, market knowledge and how much they are willing to give to the studio and how much they are sharing this. These are very critical and game changer, I guess. So it seems like sometimes it seems like publisher just publishing game and making marketing, but it's not. That part, I think, relatively easy part. That's also important, but relatively easy part. But there are a lot of different steps when you pass to the first iteration. Sometimes it takes months, and this expertise makes your game successful or not. That's a pretty game changer, and yeah, we are looking this expertise and also technology and data, of course.
Thank you. Ozan?
I think it has impact at every stage while you are developing a game and when you are testing and publishing it. If you want market analysis, there is a trend report for that. If you want to make ideation and decide on what to build, you have the publishing manager, and you have the dashboard for the test, and or if you need some kind of extra pair eyes for the game design, you could also get that support. And also for testing and publishing, I mean, if you want to self-publish, it takes too much time and effort to just build your own dashboard or make your connections. That comes for like in a bundle to you. Like you can just test your games, your results, refine the data, and it's like saves too much time and funnels that knowledge and know-how into something better. So you could focus on what you want to build, and which also could bring much more success.
Thank you. So the final question, you all have such vast experience. You've been here for years, you've developed so many games, you published hits. So what would you recommend any other new studio, new developer, solo indie developers out there who's trying to do this transition into hybrid or to start working on hyper-casual? What would you recommend them? Maybe.
Like in hyper-casual, I believe killing a game is like kind of the demotivating part of it again. And in hybrid games, what's important is that fine-tuning the development time before killing a game. And it's a marathon. Not every game is going to be successful in hybrid casual like in hyper-casual as well. So trying to fine-tune between the development time and the decision to kill a game is really the most important part, if you ask me, because for hybrid casual prototyping, as we said, you may need to spend a month or two sometimes just to see its real results, and that time, if the game is not going to be successful, can be more demotivating than killing a game in hyper casual, which you created in 3 or 4 days, a week sometimes. As I said, it's a marathon, and you have to leave it aside at one point, and trying to decide it is really the most important part. And there are successful casual games out there where you can get ideas regarding meta, and as a hyper-casual developer studio, we try learning from the success stories of casual games to implement in our games by not copying them, but by seeing what they have done, what has been achieved, and what can be added on top of it. So in a way, watching the trends in order to decide what can be a new addition to the industry is still the key part. And yeah, all I would suggest is that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can mention about, the first, of course, the quality of the games. It's very important right now. So that's because usually it takes more time. So you need to give enough attention to every detail. But for doing this, actually, one thing becomes much more important, which is ideation and game design. So if you pick wrong idea and the wrong game design, that means you will lose more time. So then the giving more attention to the game design and the ideation is critical in the first place. And sometimes in the old time, in the hyper casual, you're just trying to make the publisher accept your idea. So you are trying to sell your idea to publisher. But I think this is not the correct target. So your target should be in the top chart, and you should feel and see that, imagine that idea can go to the top chart, even in the ideation phase. So by doing this, we can kill a lot of ideas from the early stage. So we can be much more picky. So then, of course, we will spend more time on it, because making good quality games takes longer time. When you find this balance, I think it works better.
Thank you. Ozan?
I think for transitioning into hybrid, first of all, we need to understand what hybrid is, and it's, I think, mostly about hybrid monetization. So you need to understand user behavior, how people spend, why people spend, when people spend. So you make your ideation and design around it. You will have your features for the in-app purchase as well, and that will uplift your LTV, so that CPI will not matter a lot to you. And that's why maybe playing games with in-app heavy might be a good suggestion for that, to understand the in-app purchase process and implement those little maybe gotchas to the game, and you have a very good monetized hybrid game.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everybody. We're finished here, and good luck. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.